Hello, Duranis here. Welcome to episode 1 of Feed the Beast on the Damnation server. This is going to be a very brief introduction. Just really wanted to talk about the server and the mods that we've got running here and just sort of show the progress so far. I haven't recorded right from the very start because no one really wants to see me spending 3 hours just mining for ores and getting all the starting stuff done, so it's not overly interesting. The server pack we have here is based on the Hatpack, which I'll put some information in the description about that. We've made quite a few modifications to the config and also added a couple of other mods like Gregtech and a few other things. So yeah, let's show you the progress that I've got so far. So this is my sort of starting base here. I've got another base elsewhere which I just used to get some basic materials going. So I've got a tree farm there and a few basic machines, most of which I've moved over to here now. So you can see here we've got the morph mod as well, so I'm just morphing into the back to get over here. So yeah, basically the plan with this base, I'm going for a steampunk sort of feel. I've sort of done some of these buildings on some of the previous FTB servers. But with the we've got carpenters blocks and chiselled blocks here, so we get these nice sort of diagonal blocks and do all sorts of fancy stuff with it. So yeah, this is still a work in progress. It's quite a few hours have gone into this because I'm using carpenters blocks for a lot of it. Basically, you have to build it twice. You have to first lay down the carpenters blocks, which look like these, and then you have to lay down your textures on top of that. So it's pretty time consuming to build like this, but it does look pretty cool and there's a whole lot of effects. So I'm just looking here, this was just my test wall just to sort of check out the different effects you can get from the chisel block. So this is cobblestone, so you get all of them different blocks just from cobblestone, oak wood and sprue wood and smooth stone, and then these are the factory blocks which also look really cool. So yeah, played a little bit with Ars Magic. I just set this up and I just made a couple of spells just sort of see how that works, but I plan to get into that pretty big time later on. In here at the moment I've just got some basic machines. So I've got the basic Gregtech machines here, sort of gone past the Bronze Age already and onto the sort of single block electrical machines. Just have a generator there at the moment to power them and an MFE. No real storage as yet, just a whole bunch of random crap in chests, so no real sorting on that yet. Smeltery, I've got some pretty good Tinker's Construct tools going there, which is really good to start with, and then Thermal Expansion, which is also a really good mod to start out with. So yeah, nothing too exciting on the tech front yet. Haven't even got that many ores and stuff in storage yet. It's basically because most of the time I've been building and messing around with these carpenters blocks because they are amazing. So yeah, quick look inside. I'm not too sure exactly what I'm going to use this room for and well, this whole building for yet. Short term I'm going to have my machines in here. I think long term it's going to be sort of a sorting and processing building. There will obviously be ways interior to get in and out, but at the moment I just haven't set them up yet. So yeah, this is the third floor, or second floor if you count that one as the first floor. So we've got quite a bit of space in there, and then the top floor, which will also have a lot more roof space because the ceiling goes, well, the roof goes all the way up to here. So yeah, it's a pretty tall build. The plans are to sort of build on this whole, typically it's night time and I haven't got a bed, but yeah, my plans are to build on this whole sort of hilltops all the way around and connect up to a village which is over there, and then I'm going to rebuild the village in sort of a steampunk style. So yeah, that's it. My plans at the moment are just to get this roof finished, and there's a whole lot more detailing that needs to go on. This is just sort of a bare bones. I've got windows and then all of the detailing to put on here, so that's going to take quite some time, and I'm not going to do all of that on camera because it will take hours and hours and hours. So yeah, I'll come back when I've got a bit more progress and something more to show. So see you later. So I've got the scaffolding built for the roof here. I'm just starting to put the textures on. Do really love these carpenters blocks. It does take a lot longer to build with them, but Just the fact that you can switch your textures around afterwards and set up different blocks without having to rebuild the whole thing is pretty cool. And some of the shapes you can get with it are really good. As you can see with the windows, it's a lot better. Rask there, he's the guy who's doing the main setup of the server, so he's the one who does all the config changes, etc. We're just actually, I'm not doing anything other than pretending I know what he's talking about, but just fixing a problem with Gregtech and the way it converts RF power. So it looks like he's fixed it, but he's broken his own power system. That's pretty funny. So yeah, the server. This is the Damnation FTB server. It's actually the I think it's the 5th FTB pack that we've run. We started off back with the beta, and I played on the server just after they got their first map up, I believe. So I've been here about a year and a half. Damnation is a pretty big vanilla server. I say vanilla, it's got a buttload of plugins. It's, I think, about 300 or 400 plugins that are running on it. So definitely worth checking it out. You can get a very vanilla feeling server, but then if you get bored or you want something extra, there's a ton of other stuff that you can do. There's things like survival games on there as well, so yeah, definitely worth checking out. I'll put a link in the description to the forum and to the server, so you can go and have a look. It is a 18+ server, so mature server, and yeah, lots of good people on there. The FTB pack that we've got here is basically the Hatpack, and it's pretty modified with the configs and the extra mods we've got in. We're going for sort of a hard mode mod pack. The previous one we used, I can't remember if it was Unleashed or I think Unleashed was the last one, or Ultimate, I can't remember. But that was pretty easy. We've all been playing FTB for quite a while, and we pretty much burnt through the content in a matter of weeks, if that. So on this one we've made it a lot harder. Ore generation is pretty low. Gregtech's on, so a lot of things are a lot harder just because Greg loves to make things hard. And we've also got a lot more mods that we can play around with that take some time. So, for example, the carpenters blocks and that, lots of different, like, just building blocks that will keep people occupied for ages. There's Ars Magic 2 and Formcraft and quite a few things that take quite a bit of time to sort of progress in. So, yeah, we should be kept busy for quite a while. The FTB server is for artisan ranks and above, I believe. So to get whitelisted on here, you have to sort of be a member of the I'm saying a lot on this because I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing as well. Yeah, so to get whitelisted on the FTB server, you have to be a member on the vanilla server for a while and sort of rank up there. But I definitely recommend that anyway because it's a brilliant server. So yeah, I'm gonna carry on. I'm gonna carry on adding the textures to this, and I'll be back when that's done. These blocks here that I'm using are the factory blocks from the chisel mod, and they look awesome. Just quickly, if you haven't seen this, the chisel mod, basically right click with your chisel, you put, this is just cobblestone, you put that in there, and then you can select a whole bunch of different block types, and the same for the factory blocks. The factory blocks are reasonably expensive. It takes 4 iron and 5 smooth stone to make 32, so it's not too bad, but you do have to have a source of iron there, especially when you're building things this size. It takes quite a few blocks. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll be back with you when this roof is finally filled in. And welcome back. So it's actually been quite a bit of time passed since the last part of the video. For you it's only been a few seconds, but for me it's been probably a week or two. A lot of progress has gone on here. Let's just quickly switch to bat mode so we can fly around and have a look. So we've got the roof finished here. I've added another section onto the side as well, so that extended the roof quite a bit. It's looking pretty cool, I think. There's still a bit more texturing work I want to do on this. So you can see here I've got this sort of leafy texture going down. One of the cool things I really like about the carpenters blocks is the fact that you can use two textures. So here we've got the the factory block, and then we've got just normal leaf blocks going down, which gives it a sort of cool mossy leafy effect, like sort of ivy growing down it. We've added some windows here, which are pretty good in my opinion, and the only window I'm not happy with is the window around this side up here. Don't really like this window, so I'm going to be taking that out and doing something else there. But yeah, these windows, this part here, and this part, and these windows were all new since the last video. Got a small squid tank down there as well. I needed some ink sacks, so it's just a quick setup to get some ink sacks. And see, the windows here are new, and these parts up here are new. I'm going to be changing the textures on these. I don't like the yellow construction tape type texture. I do really like this texture here. I think I'm going to keep that, but I need to come up with another texture for these bottom parts of the pistons. So just a bit of detailing on there. I'm going to do a bit more on this part of the wall here. And on the other side of the build, over here, we're going to have probably just like a big windmill thing coming out here. So sort of typical steampunk style. So top floor here now is looking pretty big. The ceiling's really high and looks pretty cool. I really like the way it sort of goes up and it's shaped. I'm going to have some stuff hanging from there as well, and probably open up this side bit a bit as well. Like I said, this window is going to be changed, so this will be different, but I want it to be fairly open. And yeah, we've got the open blocks elevators as well now. So now we're down to our storage room again. I do that all the time. Down and then fly. So yeah, our storage room. This was just an empty space last time, but now I'm using the better barrels for most of my storage. So all the sort of bulk storage is going into here. And then I have the extra utilities mod sorting pipes here, sorting into different chests. So the cool thing about these is it will sort into chests depending on what is already in there by the mod type. So here you can see we've got Mine Factory Reloaded. So all the Mine Factory Reloaded stuff is going into there. Here we've got forestry, biomes of plenty, and magical crops, and then the magical bees and stuff is going in there as well. So basically it sorts it all into what mod it's from, which is really handy for things like pipes and wrenches and stuff like that you don't really want a barrel set up for, but you sort of want to keep it all lumped together. So I'll show you how the processing system's working over here. So all the stuff feeds into this barrel, which is B-space linked, so I can set up barrels all over the place to feed to that, and it uses the thermal expansion item ducts, which are all routed into these various machines. So things like ores, etc., will go in to be processed. So we've got pulverizers and furnaces and all sorts set up here. And then it gets pushed over to this chest, which feeds into the router. And the router, if there's a barrel set up for the router, or if it's one of the bees, they'll go in there. It will just push it straight into the barrel. And if it's not, so say for example we put our pick into there, and then it will detect that there's an item in there that it can't push into the barrels, and eventually it will push it out into this chest, and then from that chest it goes into the transfer node, and then from the transfer node it will go over to one of these chests over here. So that was a Tinker's Construct, so here it is in the box with all the rest of the Tinker's Construct stuff. So yeah, pretty useful system. I'm going to add some logistics pipes to the back of these so I can retrieve items. At the moment I've got no way to automatically retrieve items, so that's going to be the next thing on the job, next job on the list even. If we go down here to our first floor, we've got a assembly table with some lasers set up here. I've actually stolen the power system from there to use on something else, so I need to make a new one for that. And we've got our smeltery set up here. This is just a basic smeltery just for small work. This is just like a sort of workshop room, so it's not mass production of materials. It's just if I need to make a couple of things, all of the machines are here. So we've got the single block IC2 and the Gregtech stuff that I had before, and again for the thermal expansions. I've been using a lot of these ender generators. They're pretty handy once you've got a good source of ender pearls going. They're pretty cheap to make in decent output, and they're really good because you can sort of pick them up and move them around and you don't lose all the power in them. I've still got a whole bunch of chests sitting everywhere with just random crap in that I need to get up into my storage system up there. And I also need to sort of micro block up the ceiling just to clean it up. But I'm still sort of debating what textures I want on the floors and on the ceilings and stuff. So it's still very much a bare bones build at the moment. And down here where I had all my machines before, there's still just a whole bunch of crap in. I was looking at different blocks and stuff. I actually really like these blocks. I'm going to use them somewhere. So yeah, so that's that. And out here, again, still more chests full of crap and more barrels and all sorts of stuff. And over here is my mob grinding system. So this is where I've been getting all my ender pearls from. In here we've got a whole bunch of mob spawners even, with conveyor belts that push them down to here where there's the MFR grinders, and that gets all the items and the mob essence which feeds down to here. And this one's basically the same thing, but it's got cave spider spawners in, so they tend to be able to run against the conveyor belt. So if you're standing here for these to spawn, they're all just running up to the window. So in here it's just a straight drop down, and then there's a conveyor belt that pushes them over, and they tend to run in that direction anyway. And then you've got the grinders here. So that all feeds down. I've got 16,000 buckets of mob essence, which is quite a lot, and I'm actually generating the mob essence way quicker than I can use it. In here we have drawbridges, and they will push out cursed earth, and cursed earth basically increases the spawn rate of monsters in the dark. So if we turn that light off, we can see a creeper just spawned in there. So the nice thing about this over the spawners is that you don't have to be really close to it. I don't even know if you have to be within range of it at all for it to spawn mobs. So while I'm sort of working over on the house, it can be passively spawning mobs all the time, so it's constantly filling up the mob essence. So it's quite a nice passive way to do it. The only downside over the mob spawners is that it spawns quite slowly. But for some passive mob grinding, it's pretty good. At the moment, all of the items are just getting dumped into barrels here. I will have them all feeding over into the sorting system over that side. But it's still sort of a work in progress. I'm going to move a lot of these pipes and cables and stuff around as well. Down here I have the MFR spawner and the grinders, and basically I have safari nets for most of the vanilla mobs in there. So that's how I'm getting all my ender pearls at the moment. I'll just chuck the Enderman safari net in there and just spawn a bunch of them and collect all the ender pearls from that. So that's how I'm pretty much powering everything at the moment. So yeah, I think that's probably about it. Oh yeah, the tree farm is down here as well. I moved that from my old base. So it's turned off at the moment, and all of this pipe work is going to be changed out. This was just a temporary setup again. I sort of like the platform it's on, but I've got to build out underneath it, so I'm going to have a sort of a support pillar coming across to join up with this mountain here. And there's a couple of cool ideas I've got for just neat looking gadgets and gizmos coming off the side, which should make it look a bit more interesting. But yeah, that's going to be providing me charcoal eventually, and hopefully saplings, although one problem I've had with this is it's not produced enough saplings. It's barely producing enough to keep it fully planted, but it's not producing a surplus, and I'm not sure if it's something I've set up wrong, or it's something that's changed with MFR or even with the default saplings. But some of the people on the server have not had problems, so it's probably just something I've set up not quite right, but that should fix when I change all of this. So yeah, all the logs came in, they fed into the furnaces, and then get turned to charcoal. The charcoal then goes down through here, feeds the steam dynamos, which was powering the whole system, and then up into these barrels here. So I've got a buttload of charcoal that I'm not using at the moment, and a whole bunch of wood. And yeah, even more junk that needs to get sorted. Over here I've got the sludge boiler, which I'm mainly just using to get the clay and the what's this? The pile of ashes. And I can't remember what I was using the pile of ashes for. It was for something. Ash blocks coal. That's what I was going to use it for. So yeah, nothing too special there, but seeing as you get the sludge for free anyway, you might as well use it. All these other blocks I'm basically just voiding now because I'm not overly interested in them, although some of them could be quite useful for building, but yeah, not that fussed. And this is where I did have the mob spawners set up when I was just testing them out. So I need to clear all this space out, but this is just sort of a testing area at the moment. So again, all of the logs and that from here will probably feed into my sorting system, and then from there they'll get processed into charcoal and then fed to boilers when I eventually set them up. That's sort of the ultimate goal for the power generation, is setting up the boilers. Generally that is the first thing I'll do on an FTB server, is set up some boilers for power, but for this I've not really done a whole lot with the tech so far. I've just been busy messing around with the carpenters blocks because they're so pretty. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now, so I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. See ya.